Hello everyone, Fem and I are here in Denmark, and it's a gorgeous day. As you can see, the sun is shining brightly, and everything has been uplifted even higher in the last couple days. Since we arrived in Denmark perhaps 10 days ago or so, it took about 8 days to do an extensive activation here, which is also, without getting into the details, is connected into the activation in Egypt, and also what was known as the constellation Orion, which is now Orion. And it's was pretty complex, the activation that we did, and it had many attributes. However, the reason for doing it was to ascend the timelines a little bit further ahead. The light quotient was really ready for it. The divine feminine is always very powered up and are the vanguard on the front line for raising the vibration and also propelling us forward with what I like to say the divine masculine, which still is, a lesser proportion yet than the divine feminine. We hold the space for that, and we take up the rear, if you will. And, there are many divine masculines that many of you don't even know yet, but they are also on the scene and, doing their work, let's say, a little bit unknown to others yet, but they are emerging. And again, it is very impressive, and it's very gratifying to see when these divine masculine show themselves all empowered. So great things occurring. The worldwide protests that occurred yesterday is showing the growing support of the people, and it's beyond the magnitude now that any police force can really contend with. Having said this, the police have no choice now but to obey the people with what is going on. There may be a little bit of resistance, but that is diminishing. And having said that, more and more are awakening every day. And just yesterday, again, more reports, of ones sharing with I how they are seeing the people awakening very rapidly. So there are very good things going on, and yes, this ascension, the ascending the timelines is very real, very true, and I know each one of you can attest to that. So we're taking things forward. So on Monday, and perhaps 24 hours or so from now, we are going to be having a panel where we wish to have all of you that have heard the voice of God, of Creator, either vocally or telepathically as well. And we wish for all of you to unite with us, so we have a discussion, on what the message was that you received, and also to collaborate all together and put things all together for the people. And indeed, the time has come where more and more of you are also hearing the voice of God as you awaken. So this is very real, it's very substantial, and it is time to begin to release more of who we are and what we are to the entire population of the planet. And again, it does have the significant impact, the unity of all of this high vibration in one place and putting out a huge message. So having said that, We have that anticipated, divinely planned for about 24 hours time or so. Now with this also, anyone that may not attend the one we will have on Monday, we will be doing subsequent ones as well. As for several reasons, because there are upon the planet in actuality around 3.83 million that have heard the voice of Creator in at least the last 10 years. And of course, there are those that have heard the voice of Creator many years ago as well. So, because of the large numbers, we'll be doing subsequent ones, and we may need to do a series on it. So we wish to hear from all of you in these panel meetings that have heard the voice of God Creator, either telepathically or vocally. So that is great. We're going forward with that. The last few days as well, and what more of you are beginning to see, is that you cannot go back to those old ways. We have come too far ahead, meaning that the old paradigm and the old structures, they will not support you. They are not compatible with what you are. And the old governments and structure will reject you. And there's different levels of that rejection, which is also dependent upon the growth of the individual into their mastery. And by their mastery is what I mean is stepping into your full divine empowerment here to the total allowable. And when I say the total allowable, you still... because we're still working in the lower densities here, you still need the mechanisms that will keep you just a little bit negated in this realm. If you were totally clean in your organic and energetic field, you would just vibrate out of here. You would not be able to do this mission. So there are little negative things. It varies from individual to individual. What you could say keeps you grounded in this reality to get this mission done. So with some of you, it may be food that you eat that will do it for now, that will go later. Some, it may be cigarettes, or it may be alcohol, or what have you. But really, all of these things go when we are ready to leave, meaning that any grounding agents, like what you would call addictions or habits or the foods, they all go when it's time. And with this also, it's important to mention the empathic aspects that you have, the ability to take in negativity, to transmute it also to the light. And with the empathic abilities, this is also another grounding feature, if you will. So where you're constantly transmuting the negativity, the more we get transmuted, the higher we also rise collectively in vibration, and the timelines reflect that. So again, many of you are at levels that there is no going back to the way it is. And also, it's totally indicative when you look at the amount of people rising in the protests, and also when you look at the amount of evidence that is coming out that actually reveals government agendas and what have you. So it's no more conspiracy theories. It is the conspiracy fact, which they say, which is the reality. And of course, we all know that, and the information that we know on it, we keep sharing it with those that are just awakening to assist them as well, and to strengthen their eyes to see. So we're having a gathering here in a few hours at Dit's place, and Femke and I are traveling wherever we are divinely guided to go. And we anticipated we would be going perhaps to Romania, Bulgaria, and back to Croatia. However, the divine plan came up and secured that we had to come to Denmark. So it's looking like Sweden, Norway, Finland, and perhaps the Republic of Karelia, and into Russia. That is looking like a tentative a timeline now. And of course, everyone that we meet, Femke and I, there's the energetic transfer of higher codes and upliftment, and also our imprint in the geographical locations upon the planet changes much as well. And to speak our full truth, since we arrived in Denmark, I have at least received several reports of how it has changed since we come here, the upliftment in the energy by those that are able to feel it. We don't need our confirmations, but it's important that ones do confirm this to share with the others and to accreditate what we are all together and what we are doing, and also individually. We are in these times where some of you at least will be the leaders here, what is of the new timelines, and assure that everything is established, which is for the higher good of humanity and all. So we all play important roles, even perhaps, an elderly divine one in her house just being a space of love. It's important. Every one of us contributes to this. So, and having said that, I wish for no separation whatsoever. I see in the spiritual communities and within individuals in the past, the separations by beliefs and what they experience, but they need to know it's all part of their test, and eventually we all converge and come together as one great ground crew, one unit. And individuals have to be separated at times to do their inner work and to reconcile their perception and their levels of consciousness before going up to the next level of empowerment and taking on a more powerful, substantial divine role in connection with all of the others. So indeed, everything is perfect. It's all written, but it's that process, sometimes it can be rather tiring and tedious, and, some growing pains as well. However, the huge advancements are readily seen once you look around, even in the what's left of the old material world. You can see the transcendence. Everything is occurring and transitioning very rapidly. So again, what we have just covered in linear time the last year and a half, we have squeezed about 10 years of humanity advancement into the last year and a half, meaning that we have shortened the duration for humanity to go forward. And that was a huge divine light effort, as you know, from all of the emissaries of the light upon the planet and in the higher realms as well. So that's great, and we're moving forward. And one beautiful thing what has occurred as well is, with the censoring that was out there by governments and the dark, or whatever you wish to call them, it has actually backfired on them bigger and bigger, because what it did is it forced many of the light to find other ways to communicate, and a lot of that was just physically and meeting together, and much work got done that let's say the dark, the remnants of the dark were oblivious to. And you know, and I need to say that the dark underestimated the light severely in this. And again, what I say, it's attested within the amount of protests and the number of ones protesting, which is growing, and also the sporadic protests, which are popping up as well. So it's all a huge effort, and huge progress is being made with it. And of course, the gpms, which is the ultimate solution for humanity. It's great to see we're seeing some transitional alternative solutions pop up. It's good because it shows the consciousness is going forward in others, and it ultimately comes to what we're doing. However, you can say these are transitional steps in consciousness when the ones realize their economic structure and let's say financial, their financial dynamics, what they are proposing for humanity, they will also converge to where we are at with the GPMS. So a GPMS includes funding for every man, woman, and child, and also a voice for every man, woman, and child united together in the complete comfort that comes with that. So it takes all of most of humanity to come together as one, and we just create the way right out of the old reality. And you know, we stamp out poverty, if you will, instantly, and all of these things that have held humanity back, the release of the new technologies, and so much more. So it's all inclusive and wiping out all of ridiculous debt and interest and insurances and loans, and being totally restricted by the money. It's by the control that was in the hands of less than 1% of the human population that was doing this. So as you can see, 99% of the people want freedom and comfort, and this is an abundant planet that can offer even more of that, and this is what we're doing. But it takes everyone uniting, and we can do this in a matter of a few months. So the censoring channels are in the past are breaking very rapidly, so you'll be able to get the word out more and more on the GPMS and like instruments as well. And of course, with the one aspect of the GPMS is the simplified divine law or natural law that, again, we don't need it written. It's ingrained with in each one's heart, the morals and the ethics to know what is right, and to treat everyone fairly and equally, and to bring down the old system, the old legal, what they call the legal structures, judicial systems, which are not lawful at all, because they're fully biased and totally influential by the small part of less than 1%. So it cannot stand the old paradigm, the old regime cannot stand this huge life force, and we're seeing it very quickly change, and it's so glorious and beautiful to see so many standing up that are awakened and know what is actually going on. And also it's great to look at what I call the lower timeline, where ones are not awakened and in great fear, how we see that also imploding very rapidly. And we don't need all of humanity awakened. Each one of you, the angelics, we affect millions of people. So as you can see, it doesn't take big numbers of us to change everything here and to ascend humanity and the planet as well. So good. I'll keep it short instead of rambling on. Anyone that commented, I really, I'm out here in the sun and the screen. I cannot see too much, but thank you, Lee. It's the comments where you're putting in the global people's monetary system to show ones what it is. And what I also ask with this, we need and we're ready for more volunteers to come in to assist, more contributors to assist at getting the word out there to the rest of humanity. We also require the global reps, and we also know where this plan was a great threat to the darkness, that it had in the past been censored and restricted somewhat, but also the only reason why it was censored and restricted was because the divine timing allowed for it to be, meaning that when this is ready to go, which is now, nothing on this world restricts it, including the remnants of darkness. We are the omnipotent force and voice, and what we are doing with this full liberation for humanity is this gpms, and it is the ultimate. And anyone that has other alternatives out there, I suggest please look at what we have so you can integrate and incorporate into your concepts what we have, so that we don't want to go back into a system that is controlled by the few. That is the big problem. And go back into a money that is controlled by the few. We have flipped the tables where it's been announced into reality, the GPMS. It has a strong hold, and it does change the timelines because it's already created, and the path to get to the full liberation is also created. So as ones see this, you can get on board and stand together with all of your divine comrades, all of your families, and this truly is the liberating way. And please get this into remote areas. Any of you can be, let's say, missionaries to that respect, to get this in there, get the signatures that form the huge voice. And that is the important part, because we need to show the people that we have an actual voice that is supported by a signature. So this is, you could look at this as the worldwide vote of, hello birdie, the worldwide vote for all of humanity. And again, this can be done, what we're doing with GPMS, if governments and banks had all of humanity's best interest in mind, and if they were humane, what we're doing, they could do a disbursement of funds in about 2 days. 2 days. They could distribute wealth to every human upon the planet. However, their intent is not to do so. It is the people that must do this. So you must break that codependency on anyone else doing it for you, like governments or present ones in power. We are the leaders, and we are the power that can create this instantly for humanity. However, again, it needs the support of the choice of each one of you and even your children. And we need to create the voice. So we're in the process now with the GPMS creating this voice, and once this voice is created, we have, of course, the light leaders to take it to the next steps. But the first thing is to create this voice. So any of you watching this, please inform all of your friends, family, and relatives, and anyone that you know, and in your groups, your spiritual groups, what have you. Hey, Luna, you come to visit. Got a friend here, Luna. Hey, you want to say hi? There you are. Ah, there's your nose. Yeah. Well, I think the last live I did, I had that pup come that day and visit me, and another dog today. Yeah, Luna. So yeah, it's all good, and we just keep going forward. Huge leaps have been made, and more coming. And currently, we're in a huge upward shift that at least began more noticeably a day ago, and it's ongoing. So, woo! It's not a blind hope or a blind faith anymore. You actually see it, and so it makes it more easier to trust what is going on. As you see the evidence, and it eradicates the doubt that this is very real, and we are indeed in magical times, and we're uplifting the world. Woo! Having said that, love and light, and much gratitude to all of you that support this important mission that we are on, and much gratitude for everyone uniting and coming together for the one common goal, what we came here for, and to know it's not about self, it's about all. And when everyone realizes that, another huge shift occurs when they unite, and when they break away from the separation and come into the unity, and then they will see the huge leaps in reality forward, because the consciousness does that and the vibration does it. And so very good. So love and light, and much gratitude, and have an amazing day wherever you may be. And it's all real, and we're moving forward very rapidly. Woohoo! See you soon. Thank you.